What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two of the best players currently playing in StarCraft 2. Spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Acid Plant LE, playing with the blue Terran pieces. He tied up the series and wants to win this series once and for all and move on to the semifinals. His name is TY. And his opponent spawning in the cross position, playing with the red Zerg pieces. He currently is the former Blizzcon champion, wants to prove it right here and right now and move on to the semifinals. In the following Blizzcon, his name is Rogue. So guys and girls, this series by every stretch of the imagination has been absolutely insane and absolutely great to watch from beginning to end, and I am very excited about this game right here and right now. Now, we are going to see another barracks rush here by TY. Now, the question is this going to be an all-in, or is this just going to be, to do some, a little bit of some damage here, or try to do some substantial damage, try to end the game? Looks like our Zerg player is kind of falling into the trap here that TY was so desperately hoping for. I'm wondering, are we going to see a third barracks go down here? There might be a very good chance of that. And oh, Rogue is going for the third the third hatchery here. This could be very concerning for our Zerg player. Now, Rogue does see this, so I'm assuming the cancel is going to come in here very, very shortly. Natural base is, it has a natural hatchery has gone down. More and more of these, Terran units are going to be coming out here. I'm thinking Rogue is probably going to be forced into putting, or I should say, canceling that very quick third base. But this second base is going to be in a lot of trouble here very, very soon. You got to be very careful. You're going after that third, or that natural hatchery here. Here we go, TY. He wants to end this game right here and right now, I think. Is Rogue going to be able to hold on, though, is the big question. Zergling's speed upgrade is going to be coming up here. He has still got that third base. He may very well keep the third base as long as he possibly can. Looks like a couple of these SCVs are trying to figure out what they can possibly do. They're trying to bait their opponent here. Now, it does look like that third base is going to go down, or I should say that natural hatchery is going to go down. And now it looks like there's a good possibility that these Marines may very well go ahead and just run off here. So I think TY, he did what he came to do, right? He wanted to do some damage, and that's exactly what he did. He did some damage, and he's continuously doing that damage, which is absolutely huge for the Terran player. Now, the Zerg player is going to move in here. He's going to try to get this around here. Getting some kills, though. Beautifully played, though. Beautiful micro here by our Terran player. It looks like all those Marines, though, are going to go down. And just like that, while this has all been going on, the production is getting ramped up here by TY. I love the start TY's got right now. He's got the factory, got the reactor going on that factory, got the starport coming up, the double barracks, and then, of course, a natural command center. Now, on the flip side of this, there are going to be some of these Zerglings that are moving across the map here. There is a bunker up of the high ground. Looks like, yeah, it looks like Rogue is going to have to move on home, most likely at this point in the game. He's not going to be able to do a whole heck of a lot of damage right now. But that being said, the third base is now being taken, or I should say the natural expansion is being taken once again by Rogue. So, all of that being said and done, Rogue just really forced out a lot of units out of him. And so, as I said from the beginning, you really got to evolve as you are playing these games of StarCraft 2. And, when someone is trying to cheese you a little bit, lots of times it's actually, very good practice to have to go up against that kind of aggression. So, and Rogue is so good against that kind of aggression, obviously, that it doesn't really phase him too much, as you can probably tell at this point. Looks like the Roach Warren is going to be going down here for our Zerg player. Stimpak's being researched out of the tech lab for TY. And it looks like we're kind of going into somewhat of a standard game now between our two players here. TY is most likely gonna he's gonna try to get a little bit of that production going. Nice play with a couple of those Hellions for TY. We do have a siege tank out on the playing field at this point, and more Marines are coming up here as well. We do have a lair coming up here for Rogue, and more and more drones coming up as well. So it does look like Rogue is planning on playing a little bit of that, that macro focus game. There is going to be a drop here of some Hellions. Those Hellions are going to try to do a little bit of some damage. But all that said and done, nothing too crazy as of yet. Zerglings are starting to kind of move around the map here. There are a decent amount of Marines. There's a couple of siege tanks in the high ground. Beautiful positioning there by TY. And those Hellions are going to try to do, as much damage as they can. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do a whole lot as of yet. Roaches are now coming out onto the field. Double evolution chambers for Rogue. It looks like he's going to try to get those +1/+1 upgrades and going to get those started immediately. Glaude reconstitutions being researched out of the Roach Warren. But I'm loving the position right now of both these players, actually. Both these players are in very interesting positions right now. I'm really liking, though, probably where TY is, because of how successful that it wasn't extremely successful, but really kind of getting the kill on this natural hatchery was pretty big. But Rogue is certainly not out of this thing just yet. I mean, this guy is a macro monster with the Zerg pieces, and before you know it, he's going to have a massive supply on you. Now we do know the supply counts. Rogue does have a bigger, a bigger supply count right now, but you have to remember that the Roaches are very supply heavy. Now he's going to go into the Ravager production here. So Roach, Ravager, Zergling, I like that a lot. Overseer is going to try to see what kind of information he can get. And I'm wondering if there's going to be a timing push here by our Zerg player very, very soon here. It does look like, actually, TY is going to be moving out with a bunch of these SCVs, Marines, and siege tanks. So, very interesting decision-making here by TY. I don't know if I like this push very much. He has got so many SCVs moving across the map here. I do not know if I like this very much at all. But at the same time, looks like Rogue is going to try to get as much value as possible out of all these units. There are going to be those SCVs that are starting to move out, and it does look like he is going to go directly after that third base location here. The siege tanks are doing a lot of value, not just barely. It does now. He gets that third base, but with the Queens coming in with the diffuses, and the Biles are absolutely on point here. It looks like Rogue has absolutely decimated TY's supply at this point in the game. Wow. TY's supply is so low now versus Rogue. So Rogue won that engagement, and there is no question about it. It looked really good there for a second for TY, but now he is going to be in a very bad position. Rogue now is going ahead taking that his other third base here. But nonetheless, Rogue showing us some beautiful play there with the diffuses with those Queens. And Queens are probably one of, if not the very best, when it comes to, using the Queens are just one of the best units, period, in the game as a whole. So it does look like TY is trying to do whatever he possibly can to stay in this game. I am now very worried for TY, because Rogue, guys, we all know, is a macro monster, and he is going to slowly, kill a TY with this unit composition. The +2 upgrades are coming in as well for Rogue, and his supply is pretty, a lot higher right now than TY. TY's, his supply plummeted so much after that engagement. That was just very, that was a very huge loss, or I should say, engagement that did not go TY's way whatsoever. So once again, there's going to be these small pushes here to really try to keep the Zerg player at home here. But I think Rogue is feeling pretty good about his position. He's got another Roach Warren coming up, so I'm wondering, did the Roach Warren go down? It must have. So he's got another Roach Warren coming up here, and I'm wondering if he's gonna, get a timing push here, but right after these +2 upgrades finish up. There is another ball of units though coming in here for TY. We're going to have to keep an eye on it. I mean, TY's not out of this game just yet, but he's going to have to put on significant aggression here, and that's exactly what he's going to do. We're going to see a lot of aggression here, possibly by Rogue very, very shortly. And let's see how this engagement finishes up, because it looks like Rogue is absolutely on top of it right now. There's going to be 3 siege tanks that are going to be in a very nice position. There's a lot of Zerg units, though, right here, and I don't know if TY wants to move into this, and it does not look like that is going to be the case. He is going to back off, at least at this point. There is a Liberator trying to do some damage. But the longer this game goes, Rogue is going to have a menacing army. Like, look at this. Zerglings, Roaches, and Ravagers all coming across the map now. In the middle of the map, and I do not know if a TY is going to have enough. Almost maxed out already is our Zerg player, and those missile attacks finishes up. Ground Carapace is about to finish up as well, and there is just so many units here for Rogue right now. He is moving in to that into the natural base location. 3 siege tanks are up there in the high ground. It does look like Rogue is going to back off, at least at this point. But he has got a substantial, lead in the supply right now. Very nice drop, though, by TY, keeping the Zerg player on his toes right now. Beautifully done, getting that base once again, or kind of picking up another base once again. Really keeping Rogue at home. I mean, all of his units now came home. So, nonetheless, Burrow is coming. We're starting, to really see, more and more drones coming out of Rogue here. He doesn't want to, he wants to play this game very, very smart. I mean, and I totally understand it. Trying to play this thing smart. There is a nice, army for TY. I think it's more the positioning on all those siege tanks. Lots of siege tanks. You got to be very, very careful when you are dealing with all those siege tanks. But nonetheless, here we go. It does look like Rogue has retaken a couple of those bases. Once again, TY is going to try to be a nuisance on this third base location here. And it looks like now Rogue is deciding to split up his army a little bit. And I like this decision a lot. He's splitting up the army. He's trying to hit at multiple angles at once here. There are a lot of siege tanks, but the surround is going to be coming in here, and I don't know, is TY going to have enough against this army? There is just so much Zerg here, and the absolute decimation of those biles. GG is called, and Rogue wins this best of 5, moving him on to the quarter, or I should say, the semi-finals of Blizzcon. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Rogue and TY, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I will see you guys all in the next one. Peace.